Lila, with her vibrant purple beanie and colorful outfit, stood in her garden, humming a cheerful tune. Her parrot, Coca, perched happily on her shoulder, nibbling on a small cracker. Coca, isn't the garden magical today? The flowers are still blooming even though it's winter, Lila said, spinning around. Coca squawked in agreement.
Magical? Or cold? I need a scarf.
Suddenly, dark clouds rolled in, and snowflakes began to fall. At first, Lila and Coca admired the delicate white flakes. Look, Coca! It's snowing! How beautiful! Lila exclaimed, catching a snowflake on her glove. Lila laughed, spinning and skipping around the snowy garden. It's snow silly! Come on, Coca, dance with me!
Dance? You mean flap?
Coca chirped, flapping his wings in rhythm as Lila danced around. She hummed a playful tune, kicking up little sprays of snow with her boots. Coca squawked along, his voice rising and falling in dramatic, exaggerated notes. Together, they twirled and danced in the garden, surrounded by the sparkling beauty of fresh snow. The flowers peeking out from the frost seemed to nod along with their cheerful antics. See, Coca, isn't this magical? Lila asked, catching her breath as she stood still for a moment, looking up at the snow-covered sky.
Alright, I admit it,
Coca said with a playful tone.
It's magical, but also freezing. Let's keep moving before my tail feathers turn into icicles.
But within minutes, the light snowfall turned into a fierce snowstorm. The wind howled, and snow piled up quickly around them.
Oh, Lila, this is bad. Really bad. I don't think we're in a snow globe anymore,
Coca said, flapping his wings nervously. Lila looked around. The path back to the house was gone, completely buried under the snow. We're stuck, Coca. We need to find shelter.
Oh, Lila, this is bad. Really bad. I don't think we're in a snow globe anymore,
Coca said, flapping his wings nervously. Lila looked around. The path back to the house was gone, completely buried under the snow. We're stuck, Coca. We need to find shelter. The garden, once colorful and inviting, was now a sea of white. Lila held Coca close to keep him warm. Don't worry, Coca. We'll figure this out.
Figure it out? I'm a parrot, not a penguin,
Coca quipped, shivering. Lila spotted the old greenhouse at the edge of the garden. There, the greenhouse. We can stay there until the storm passes. The two trudged through the deep snow, Lila's boots sinking with every step. Coca squawked dramatically.
My tail feathers are frozen. Emergency! Emergency!
Finally, they reached the treehouse. It was little safe but no warmer, but the plants were covered in forest. Small shelter built on a sturdy tree. However, there was no blanket or any source of warmth inside. Lila built a small fire using a few dry twigs she found in the corner. The warmth spread through the green treehouse, and Coca finally stopped shivering.
Much better. But where's the hot chocolate?
Coca joked, puffing out his feathers. Lila laughed. You're impossible, Coca. Let's just be thankful we're safe. To pass the time, Lila told Coca funny stories about their past adventures. Coca, being the dramatic bird he was, interrupted constantly with his own improved versions of the tales.
And then, I saved you from that giant spider,
Coca said proudly. Coca, it was a tiny spider, and you hid behind me. Lila teased. Aha! Coca laughed. Lila noticed an old, dusty piano tucked in the corner of the treehouse. She wiped it off and pressed a few keys. Surprisingly, it still worked. Let's add some music to this snowy night, Coca, she said with a smile, and started playing a cheerful tune. Her fingers danced over the keys, filling the cold air with warmth and melody. Lila began to sing a lively song, her voice echoing in the quiet forest. Coca, unable to resist the rhythm, started bobbing his head. Now that's my jam, he squawked, hopping on one leg, then the other. Soon, he spread his wings and spun in circles, performing his own hilarious version of a dance. Coca, you're stealing the spotlight. Lila laughed, watching her feathery friend groove to the music.
Stealing? I'm the star of this show,
Coca replied dramatically, striking a pose. The treehouse, despite the cold, felt warm with laughter, music, and Coco's comical dance moves. Suddenly, Lila heard a faint whimpering sound coming from outside. She peered through the treehouse window and spotted a tiny puppy stuck in the snow below. It was trembling and struggling to move. Oh no, that poor puppy, Lila exclaimed. Coca, I think there's a puppy outside. I heard a faint cry coming from the snow. Coca.
A puppy? In this weather? Poor thing must be freezing.
Lila, exactly. We can't just sit here. We should go and help it. Coca, fluffing his feathers.
Go out in the snow again? Are you sure? My tail feathers haven't even thawed yet.
Lila, Coca, we have to do something. What if no one else helps it? We can't leave it out there alone. Coca, sighing dramatically.
Alright. Let's go save the puppy. But I'm warning you, if I freeze, I'm blaming you.
Lila, smiling. Deal. Let's be quick before the snow gets worse. She carefully climbed down from the treehouse and scooped up the little dog. Another guest? Are we running a rescue service now? Coca muttered, but his tone softened as he saw the puppy shaking. Lila brought the puppy back to the treehouse and held it close to keep it warm. She placed the puppy near the small fire, and soon it stopped shivering. Looks like we've got a new friend, Lila said, smiling at the puppy, who wagged its tail gratefully.
Fine, but keep it away from my crackers.
Coca grumbled, though he hopped closer to inspect the puppy. The three of them huddled together, finding comfort in each other's company as the storm raged outside. By morning, the storm had finally calmed. The snow outside sparkled in the sunlight, transforming the garden into a magical winter wonderland. Lila, Coca, and the puppy climbed down from the treehouse. See, Coca? We made it through the night, Lila said, brushing the snow off her sleeves.
Of course. But now I need some hot tea and a warm blanket.
Coca declared with exaggerated pride. The puppy barked happily, wagging its tail as if to thank them for saving it. As they made their way back to the house, Coca added dramatically,
Next time, let's get stuck in a bakery instead of a snowstorm. At least there, we'll have pastries to keep us warm.
Lila laughed, knowing that with Coco's humor and their new furry companion, they could face any adventure together.